All right, who else is just completely exhausted from these energy shifts? Oh my God. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. I saw something about the Schumann resonance is now just missing. what I don't know. It's not being reported, or did it just radically change? I know that I'm feeling a big change. And, I did a live yesterday about December 3rd, and I did a post about War of the Worlds, and I wanted to continue that discussion. But I just wanted to take a minute and just acknowledge that the energy is it's really fluctuating a lot. It's it's the energy, but it's also the emotion. And it's my job. What I've been tasked with by my guides is to help people navigate this emotional situation that we're in post November 6th. And there just keeps being more and more things that we have to navigate. And so I just want to remind people of some of the things I recommended earlier, the importance of, being in nature, being in community, working with crystals, meditating, being around animals. These are all things that are going to help with these giant emotional ups and downs and these energetic ups and downs. And so, those are two different things. Like the energy is shifting, but then our emotions are also shifting. And sometimes our emotions are shifting in response to the energy shifting. But it's bad when, the majority of the country is looking to the sky praying that some star beings come and save us. That's like how bad it is. People aren't afraid, they're excited. They're like, please, please come. Beam me up, Scotty. And so we're like, where are they? Where are they? Now, I never said they were coming today, just to set the record straight. However, let's talk about War of the Worlds, because I did talk about the Galactic Federation and star beings and their relationship to us. In the movie War of the Worlds, first it was a book, a radio show, and then a movie. So let's just say the story, because I don't know which version I'm referring to. These, really bad aliens show up, and they look like tripods, and they're really scary, and they're not only killing people with their death rays, but they're, beaming people up. Now, this is fiction. I'm just talking about a story here. And in this story, what starts happening is not only do they unalive people, but they start consuming people in order to feed this red moss that spreads throughout the land. And I think this is a really interesting metaphor. And it fits really well with what my guides have been saying. And that has to do with us being very careful about our emotions and allowing ourselves to be infected with fear. And so you can see that these people who are all afraid in the movie, because they're so afraid, you can see how their very essence gets turned into something that replicates across the land in the form of a red kind of viral moss. And we can see the same thing happening in our country, and not only in the United States, but really throughout the world post November 6th. There's a lot of fear spreading. And now we're seeing these major events happening in other countries today, December 3rd, which is also spreading that fear, the rise of authoritarianism. But we're also seeing people stand up for themselves, which is another thing my guides have been talking about, the importance of remembering that you have agency, that you are not a victim, that you don't have to view your life or your future as decided by somebody else. And this is something that my guides have made so clear, and I just feel like I have to keep reiterating it. Even with the ETs, they said, the ones that are visiting, that are hovering around the planet, they're here to monitor the situation because they want to make sure that humans are making their own decisions about the future of humanity. And so as we're going through these energetic eddies and these emotional highs and lows, as we're dealing with this news every day, something dramatic happening, I want you to remember that you are a sovereign being. You have control of your life. Even if sometimes it doesn't look like it, you still have to remember your power. There's a shift going on, and sometimes we have to deal with the last gasp of a dying empire before we have the new and the wonderful come. So I just want to remind you that one of the main themes of that story, The War of the Worlds, was how complacency was the enemy of humanity. And, we cannot be complacent. We cannot just lay down and roll over. We can't start thinking in fatalistic terms no matter what happens in the world. That's not who we are as Americans. We've never been that, and we're not going to become that. Which is why it's kind of funny, if you think about it, that certain people have dreams of being a 1930s German type leader in the United States. It's kind of funny when you think about, oh my God, like Americans would never go for that, right? We're just such difficult people, right? We're very nonconformist, we're very difficult, we're very individualistic, sometimes to our detriment, right? We're far too egotistical. We're way too full of ourselves, right? And like it's something we need to work on, except right now it's starting to feel like an asset, right? Like, yeah, there's always going to be that percentage of people who want somebody to tell them what to do and who are willing to vote for somebody who wants to take away all their rights and just give them commands. But it's not the majority, and the majority of us are just really difficult people. So there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Are you kidding? You think all the people who like will stage a battle over their coffee being made the wrong way are going to lay down and roll over? It's not going to happen. So let's like tap into that obnoxious persona that is the American, right? The ugly American, right? We go overseas and we expect everyone to do things our way. We want it our way, which, is super embarrassing when I'm traveling. Like when I'm traveling, I'm like, I don't know them. I'm not an American. I try to make sure, I blend in. Because it's like, that's so rude. But it's time to embrace that. It's time to embrace that, you know what? We do things our way, and we don't let people boss us around, and we don't let people tell us what to do. We need to embrace that right now. And at the same time, we need to acknowledge that this is exhausting. This up and down, this roller coaster of emotions, of major world events, is exhausting. And we gotta take care of ourselves, and we gotta take care of our energy, and really pay attention to our energy. Along with a lot of the people in the 4 a.m. club, I find myself often up till 4 a.m. just not sleeping, and then I crash a few days, and I'm like, oh, I have to sleep 9 hours because I'm so exhausted from having all of these late nights with the energy, or with my guides coming in, or just like tuning in to what's going on on the astral. So I wanted to make this post for two reasons. I wanted to remind everybody of our American badassery, and I want everyone to tune into that aspect of your personality, even if it's not a big part. Amplify it. Amplify it. And also, I want people to rant a little bit in the comments about, what you're going through. How's it feeling? We had 3 major world events happen today on December 3rd. The aliens haven't shown up yet. We're all like, come on. But but there's lots of news. There's lots of problematic news to keep us on our toes. My guides just keep saying, we have to overcome the fear. We cannot anchor ourselves in the fear. We have to anchor ourselves in the hope. Are you anchoring yourself in the hope? How are you doing that?